What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Crypto Plebz channel. Happy New Year's. I hope everybody got a good chance to spend time with family and friends, and I hope you guys were able to strategize a good game plan for 2026. Maybe you guys got some New Year's resolutions for yourself, some goals that you want to accomplish. Write them down here in the chat below. As for myself, guys, I want to do a lot of self-improvement, guys, not just with crypto, but just all around, as a father, husband, and even with my walk with Christ. And I hope that you guys will be able to follow along with this journey with me, guys. As like I said in prior videos, I wasn't going to be making videos every day. I feel like the markets are kind of saturated. A lot of crypto influencers, they're kind of reiterating the same stuff, and I wanted to kind of be original and just kind of say, hey, look, you know what? I'll come out when we start hearing some news, and we did have some things that dropped over the weekend. And then also, guys, wanted to chop up with my family, see how you guys are doing, make sure everybody's level-headed, and make sure that we got a good game plan for 2026. So with that being said, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, and leave some comments below. Tell me some things that I need to work on for 2026, and maybe some things that you would like to hear about in the future. With that being said, let's get into this. All right, so in January, we have the crypto market structure bill finally ready to go before the Senate. Okay, so remember, guys, we got three chambers that goes before the Senate, then the House, and then Trump signs off on this. Okay, and then also at the end of the January, we have Congress supposed to go before another government shutdown. So let's see if these guys are going to try to work something out. I do think that we are not going to get shut down. They're going to probably use this as some maybe ammo to get us going into the House. Remember, guys, this is going to set our legal framework as far as commodities and securities, us, with the wash trading rule and stuff like that. So this is going to set a lot of groundwork for us as far as what we can and cannot do. This is what we've been promised, and this is what that these guys said that they were going to lay out for us. So look, let's be real. I think the Trump token probably delayed this really bad. With the whole launching of the Trump token. If you guys have catch any of these Senate hearings, the only thing that these people talk about, especially Maxine Waters and what's the other name, Pocahontas, all they talk about, guys, is just the Trump token all the time. Even though stable coins have absolutely nothing to do with the cryptocurrencies. Some of these dinosaur politicians, they don't know what they're talking about. So, I'm convinced that if Trump never launched his token, guys, we'd probably already have this thing signed into place already. So let's hope that, things come out for the best for us. Let's see what's up. So make sure you write down January 15th on the calendar, okay? Next thing, guys, that I heard, Trump media plans to launch a token on the DJT stock network or whatever. If you guys aren't familiar, Trump has True Social, which is his company, and they're going to be launching a coin on Kronos on this. So might be good for the Kronos chain, crypto.com, if you guys aren't familiar with that. This might be a good trade setup, maybe to long crypto.com. In the future, I'm not going to long anything just of yet. But remember, guys, last time we got a crypto that was launched through, Trump last year, this did cause somewhat of a bear market with altcoins. Sucked out a lot of liquidity from altcoins, and it was not good at all. So let's be on high alert on this. I know I'm going to be watching this. So again, guys, it's going to be probably launching on the Kronos network. So it will be great for Kronos. A lot of volume and stuff like that. So let's see what happens. And then, we got some news that we got some Federal Reserve injections, $31 billion into the U.S. banking system overnight repos, marking the largest liquidity injection since COVID. Remember, guys, the financial sectors are trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. This is merely billions. So this is a small drop in a big sea out there. Okay, so this is going to take some time. Okay, it's not going to be, something that's going to happen in the next few days or weeks. Remember, January, which is today, a lot of the big, beautiful bill, also, the no tax on tips roll out, but these things take a couple weeks to go into effect. So we won't start seeing, all these things go into effect until maybe later on in February, maybe March. So, like I said, we have to just be mindful that these things are going to take time. These are obviously good things, but, they're going to take some time. But that being said, though, there's things that are still happening behind the scenes, guys. We got, a lot of companies and also nations that are still buying and accumulating Bitcoin. There's other, crypto coins out there like Ondo Finance, which are, at the spearhead of getting tokenization done, and also, Ethereum as well. So a lot of stuff's happening, guys. Let's check out our boy, Mr. Tom Lee, and let's see what he got going on right now.
Ethereum's utility value should be rising. Therefore, you should watch this ratio. Well, I think Bitcoin's going to get to 250,000 within a few months. And if Ethereum price ratio to Bitcoin gets back to its 8-year average, that's $12,000 for Ethereum. But I think Ethereum's going to become the future of finance, the payment rails of the future. And if it gets to 0.25 relative to Bitcoin, that's 62,000. So I think Ethereum at 3,000, of course, is grossly undervalued.
So I don't really agree with what he says as far as his price targets. We all know our boy Tom Lee is super bullish, which, there's nothing wrong with that. I do think, we should be somewhere between $5,200 to $6,000 ETH. 6,200 seems a little far-fetched. Maybe something around maybe 5 to 10 years from now. Maybe that's something that could be, a possibility. But right now, guys, we're looking about in the short terms. And, look, I'm trying to make the money now. Bitmine is the second biggest treasury holder in the world. So, first obviously is MicroStrategy, but look at that. Bitmine number 2, and then Marathon number 3, and then some of these other ones that I'm not really too familiar with are down here below. But like I said, this is pretty big numbers. They've been buying Ethereum like crazy. So, look. Tokens like Ondo, ETH, and, the ones that we always talk about, Sui, and all these other coins, guys, they're going to be here to stay. I think it's just a matter of, how long can you hold on? A lot of people are very impatient, and I understand, if you guys got in, last year, everybody was under the assumption that things would just be rocketing up, and that's just simply is not the case. One cryptocurrency that I would talk about all the time, guys, which is Avalanche, which is up almost 13% on the day. We have a little bit of a pullback, very small pullback, a few percent. It looks like it's down, 2%? Is looking pretty good. And the reason why, guys, is because, Skybridge, Anthony Scaramucci has flagged AVAX as one of the top 2026 altcoin picks. And if you guys know anything about Avalanche, man, this thing has not been doing good all year. Look at this. It's been just pretty much in a downtrend since we've had the launching of the Trump token. Like I said, we talked about this, guys, the beginning of the year. We've been in a constant downturn. So, the launching of this Trump token has not been positive for a lot of these altcoins. So, and this even goes back even towards, 2024. We've been in a constant downtrend since then. So, look, I do believe that, these altcoins will turn around. I still believe in a lot of the fundamentals with AVAX. So, look, it's just a matter of, like I said, can you hold on? Can you wait another 4 or 5 months? Or you just kind of tapping out. And if you are, that's fine. But I think that's a bad move to make. And I think that, a lot of these altcoins will come back with a vengeance. Like I said, look, I saw this ad today where, a lot of cryptocurrencies are, beginning to get their ETFs passed, like Sui, Aave, Athena, and all these other bigger ones. And so it's just a matter of, you guys being patient. So, look, I get it. We were under the impression that, the markets would be coming alive, for a Santa rally, but it didn't happen. So now what's next? What's next is, guys, setting yourselves up for, a potential February, March, April run up. Okay. So let's hit some coins real quick, guys. As always, remember, this is not financial advice. I'm just a regular guy telling you things that I'm doing. So please don't just blindly take any trades that I'm giving out or any levels that I'm giving out or any other influencer at that, okay? All right, so we have some pretty good support down here at 12.26. Our bottom on AVAX was at 11.27. We're currently at resistance. We just hit it literally right now, 13.81. We were back at that level around the second week of December. if we're able to reclaim, hold up above here, we can re-challenge back here at $15. Once we get it back up here, I want to see if we can revisit back up here to where we were in the good old October, which is going to be around 28 bucks. So if you're buying that low, that should be a nice, clean 120% return. So look, remember, guys, I don't know what's going to happen. Nobody knows what's going to happen. We just got to prepare and be ready for whatever happens. So look, we go back up there. That's 130%. Nice return. I would advise anybody to take profits from anything that they got if they hit over 100%. Okay, so if we're looking for a pullback, let's keep this on the radar. Let's keep 1310 on the radar, and then we have some better support down here at 1287. Okay, next thing we have Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid has been getting beat down pretty good. Right now, I'm looking for us to revisit back here to $24. And if we break below there on that 24, we can set some buy orders in between at this level of 22.97 down here to 22.23. So that's Hyperliquid. If you guys don't know what Hyperliquid is, remember we talk about it all the time. Go on CoinMarketCap. You can get the TLDR of it. It's a perpetuals DEX, newer coins. So remember, new coins have a lot more ability to run up. So just remember to do your research on all these coins. Okay, just don't blindly get into them. All right. Next thing is Ondo. So I was in a leverage long on Ondo. My stop loss unfortunately got hit, but we got back in it. We came all the way down here to 35.61. So the reason being, I think people are doing some tax loss harvesting, and then we got that nice bounce up. We do look like we're going to get somewhat of a little rally right here. We got this little 50 getting ready to cross below on the, we got the 50 EMA getting ready to poke up above the 200. So we might get a nice little run up here. I'm looking for us maybe to push up to this 42.32. And if maybe we can get back up here to that 47, maybe even 50 cents, I would be looking to take some profit on the trade. We'll see what's up. But as far as spot, guys, I'm going to see if we can try to get back up here to that 90 cents. So if you're buying this low with me, I've been calling it out for weeks in the Discord. That would be about almost 150 to 170% return. So look, a lot of these altcoins, guys, I think we're going to get a relief bounce sometime in March. I see a lot of crypto influencers that are, calling for an extended bear market all the way until next October. Guys, that just does not sound right. Okay. I think a lot of people that claim that they were in the 2018, 2019 cycle, they forgot about that, that rally that we had around this time. So, look, I'm still on this camp that, we're going to get this relief rally, and from there you can do what you need to do. But, I'm buying assets that I think that will do well in the future, like, Aptos, AVAX, Hyperliquid, Aave, Tau, and even, Ondo Finance. So if you guys been rocking with me, you guys know that I've been loading up on these altcoins, and we're looking to take profits, once we get a nice little 1, maybe 2x on these bad boys. So let's see what happens, okay? So keep this on the radar. 37.74. We break below here, we'll try to put some orders back down here at this 35 cents. But anything below, right now on that 39 is a good DCA spot for me, in my opinion. And then, we got good old Bitcoin. I got a nice little Fibonacci retracement tool. We got some good support down here at 87,500. If we come back below down here, maybe to that 85,000, then we could run the risk of coming back down here to that lower 80K. But for right now, when everybody was saying that, during the holiday weekends that we're going to dump, we've been holding well. We've been having a lot of this rejection up here in this 90K zone. So that's one thing that we got to be a little mindful of. And then we have some greater resistance here at 92.5. And then remember, guys, for us to remain back into bullish territory, we have to be above 102.5. Okay, so that's some of the crypto news that I got for you guys as far as like the coins that I'm looking at. Bitcoin, like I said, it's the daddy. It's going to be telling us exactly where we need to be. So we have a lot of resistance, guys. We have even more, in that 98,000, and then one in the 100,000, and even 107. So, like I said, guys, once we go below support, that turns into resistance. So we have a lot of work to do. But like I said, let's see what next year brings. It's always good to be optimistic And it's good to be different from the herd. So like right now, we can all agree the herd is saying that, we're going to go to 60K. And, hey, who am I to say we're not? But I tend to always go against the herd. So, we have some green dots on Market Cipher B. You guys know that I've been talking about the weekly. I like to go on the weekly. We got that green dot on the weekly, even on the same thing with Ethereum. I went to talk to you guys about that. We had this green dot. Okay, and then right here, the green dot, green dot, and then we got a red dot, okay? And then now we got the green dot. So if we go back over here, guys, look, check this out. This was back in September 2023. We had the green dot, red dot, which was a dump right here, and then we got that green dot. Okay, from there, we got that nice 170% pump up, okay? So let's see what happens. We have a lot of work to cover here. We got a trigger wave right here. So you guys know that we have a divergence on Market Cipher B, which is momentum going up, price going down. So we got some good stuff on the weekly. But remember, things on the weekly, they take some time to play out. They don't happen, right then and there. But like I said, we'll see what happens, okay? If you guys, like I said, are looking for a place to trade on, guys, I trade with BitNewX, great exchange. They have a lot of liquidity, a lot of great altcoins that I like to use. And if you don't like to trade, you can buy on spot. I recommend this to a lot of people that I trade with, and even in my groups. Never had any problems. So links will be below. And like I said, man, you guys are welcome to join the group. We have links to the group below. So look. Great opportunity. There's a lot of stuff that you guys can get into, stocks or, stocks, precious metals, which I probably believe that they may be topping out. But even stuff like this, guys, there's stuff out there that are collectibles. And, these are actually vintage Pokemon boxes. So they're not new. These are vintage stuff. Don't be a hype beast. I invest in a lot of vintage stuff. I have a big Pokemon collection, but there's an old saying, there's a bull market somewhere and we will find it. So, it's good to be in a little bit of everything. And it's good to have your strategy mapped out for 2026. And mine is to be, putting out better content. And then also to make sure that I'm very well diversified into things that, hold money and hold value. Okay. All right, guys, y'all stay blessed. Remember, guys, we're going to get through this. But we got to stay focused and we got to stay, with our eyes on the prize. All right. Y'all stay blessed. Jumpman out.